and we decided to try and do a stand-up comedy for you tonight. And I want to introduce you to one of the brightest upcoming comic stars in America. He started out here locally in the state, and with regional, and I'd say he's probably national. He's been recently in San Francisco and the Vegas to do some of his shows. I had the opportunity to go witness him in person at first Friday night comedy at Big Youth Entertainment in Warner Robins, and he offered to come do a show for us tonight. You can follow this guy on social media. He's on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Tall Trey Comedy. T-R-E-Y, Trey Comedy. Without much further ado, I'm going to bring him up, and you can see why we call him Tall Trey.
Not laying down. All right, thank each and every one of y'all for being here. Thank y'all for having me. I know a lot of y'all are looking at me and y'all have the same question. So let's go over it. This is every conversation you have with a tall person. So yeah, I'm tall. It didn't happen overnight. That's a different Tom Hanks movie. But it's always the same conversation, y'all. Like, it's always, how tall are you? And my question is, what are y'all doing with that information? Y'all going back to your shires and comparing tall people like they're Pokemon? Or y'all keeping a running tally? You know, that's always followed up by the next question. Do you play basketball? Do you mini golf? Are you a horse jockey? Do you limbo? You know, I do not play basketball. I joined the Marine Corps and took a lot longer shots. You know, but that's always followed by them telling you about some tall person you don't know. And it's never a tall girl that's into swing dancing. It's always Mike. I guess y'all want us to all like gather back up and get on the mothership. But I gotta tell y'all, they ain't picking up on this planet no more. And after that, you know, they're just waiting for you to be quiet so they now, you know, tell you that next thing. And everybody's always like, oh my God, I wish I had your height. No, you don't. It's not all top shelves in Muay Thai, all right? Fans don't hit you once. They hit you once per blade. That's 4 in some houses, 5 in others, and 6 if you're doing well. There's also other downsides to it. I don't know if y'all know this, but doorways are allowed to vary in height. And they don't hit you in the forehead. It's always back here where we're trying to keep the hair, okay? Beyond that, the bathroom wall ends at 6'2". Particle board is not that expensive. And that eye contact is awkward for everybody involved. Now recently I did fly. I did some shows in San Francisco, I did some shows in Vegas, I got to be on DC Curry's podcast, and I flew Frontier. Because I feared nothing. And I don't know what child sweatshop is making these planes, but can I get like 3 inches or more leg room? I'd do the entire flight in the cannonball position. Then I had to go to the bathroom. Planes are circular. And I don't know who designed this, but they put the toilet near the wall. Y'all can understand my problem. I'm like, Jesus, break the seal. And some of you are like, why didn't you sit? Same problem. Now, it wasn't all fun and and games on Frontier, as you can imagine. Now the staff is like McDonald's night shift. They are sassy. They were 2 hours late, and we threw 4 different people off the plane. 3 of them got in a fight in first class. And the real crime was calling that first class. That was YouTube Premium at best. The problem is they refused to get off the plane, which means we all had to exit the plane. So I saw the police roll up, and I do mean roll up. They came up on bikes. And I don't mean vroom vroom, I mean ding ding. They escorted these ladies off the plane in handcuffs. I'm like, okay. What's your plan now? You're under arrest. Get on the handlebars. There wasn't pegs, like that's your only call. Eventually we landed and got off and got to where we were going. They only charged me $70 for my carry-on. Ooh, yeah. But I recently went on a date. It was a little odd. Not just because I was on it, like things happened. I took this girl out to Cheddar's because I'm on a budget. And I had the chicken. And she was vegan, so she had the entire kitchen staff hating us. Now we got done with that, we went outside, and y'all ever see something so weird you have to look at it sideways and make sure it's what you're seeing? Just... Y'all, I saw a goose limping. And I don't mean like a pimp step, I mean this thing was hurting. And my inner Steve Irwin took over. I'm like, boy, crikey, we gotta help this fella here. All right, y'all see me, right? Y'all know how tall geese are. Well, to help this thing, I had to catch it. Y'all understand the problem? I gotta get close. I gotta bend all the way down while still close and catch a wild animal. And in front of the whole parking lot and my date, I was chasing this goose. I was gonna get it because I'm gonna help this creature. And I finally caught it, y'all. In the only puddle in the parking lot. Because I dove. And I got this goose. And a fun fact about geese, they have teeth. And I don't mean molars. So I got it, and apparently some string wrapped around its leg. And a stick got caught and kind of made a tourniquet. Right? Now the problem is, even though I'm an adult, and I live in Georgia, and I'm a combat veteran, I'm not allowed to have a knife in those places. So I'm holding this goose, and my date and me have to go door to door to these cars to ask for a knife. They had their reservations. And I had to explain what's going on. So eventually I get the dullest Swiss Army knife ever. And we cut this thing off, and I get a little leg massage. And I like let it down, and it's still limping, but it's not as bad. And that's when I decided to name this goose. I named it Riding Gooseling. Because they're both kind of limping along in their careers now. Oh, don't worry, it gets worse. So I kept up on it, I'm a member of some animal rescues, and like I saw Ryan, and they took him to a farm. No, a real farm, not like all our dogs when we were growing up, okay? But they had to amputate the leg. So if you're ever at a farm and you see a goose swimming in a circle, that's Ryan. And that's my first wild goose chase. And I like to think it was a success. Now, I have been flying a lot. I also went to Dallas with a friend, and she had one request. She's like, all right, when we're there, I want to go to the Joke Museum. Y'all, I've been a comic 5 years. I didn't know there was a joke museum. I got excited. I'm like, oh man, I bet when you get there, it's like an interactive knock-knock joke. You know, there's a volunteer in some white New Balances just telling dad jokes. 2 peanuts were walking down the street. One of them got assaulted. You know, then there's all these other sections. There's all these canceled comedy wings. There's some wanted posters for joke thieves. And then there's the history of comedy. You know, there's a bunch of cavemen sitting around a fire. One of them lets one go. Gets a laugh. For an encore, he turns around and faces the fire. That's a science joke. You know, then it moves on to medieval times when jesters were called, or comics were called fools. And our job was to entertain the king. Our other job was to give really bad news to other kings, like, hey, we're declaring war. Yeah, cancel culture has been out for us since the beginning. Then after that, you have the first name comic, and it was a jester. And jester is a French term for storyteller. And it was Roland the Farter. True story, he was King Henry II's royal court jester. And he played the flute, and he told tales, and he farted Christmas carols. It was several hundred years ago, that's all they had. Now beyond that, he also got a title and land and animals on the agreement that he would do one show a year. So basically, he got the first Netflix special. You know, then you move forward. You get people like Red Fox, who talked about racism. You have Lenny Bruce, the last American arrested for talking and saying words. You have George Carlin, who the CIA put a file on just for speaking out against the war. Then you have Chris Rock, who took every hateful, hurtful, ignorant, racist joke there was and made a special out of it, made $1 million. Then you have our comics of today, Dave Chappelle, who took on cancel culture. This is our job. This is what we do. So we get there, and I am giddy with excitement. I am happy. I am ready. And it turns out they auto-corrected. It is not a joke museum. It was the JFK Museum. It was not as fun at the time. Though I do have to say, as a Marine, he didn't need that scope. But I thank y'all for having me. As a military member, the post office was always very near and dear to my heart. Letters may just be parcels or boxes or things y'all give. To us, that was seeing your kid for the first time. It was letting your mom know you were safe. It was telling a girl you loved her, and her sending back a Dear John letter. So from the bottom of my heart, y'all, thank each and every one of y'all for what y'all do. Please add, like, subscribe. I have a show July 17th with David Lucas, who's doing a weight loss challenge on Joe Rogan right now. He's been on Kill Tony if you want to come out to that. That's at the Macon Arts Center. That's the old Whiskey River if y'all remember that. And I do have merchandise. So thank y'all. I hope y'all have a great night. Come see me sometime.